we knew Credit Christie when, and it's going to be great. And then, of course, this takeover today is with some really good friends of mine, chamber members as well, and I actually get to serve on their board, and it's with Missionary Ventures International. And so, Brad, would you come up and just share a little bit about what you guys do here? Yeah. Okay, cool. Question is, how do we listen to Credit Christie?
Credit Coaching by Christie.
Where would it be? What
On everything.
Everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Credit coaching, and there's a lot of great tools for people, financial help, and just good advice on there. Credit Coaching by Christie, and you maybe give your card out and stuff if you have it, so reach out. Okay.
But for different reasons than when you were. Hey everybody, I'm Brad Staten, and I'm with Missionary Ventures, and we are thrilled to have you here. As a matter of fact, you are the first group that we've had, that we've hosted. It's a new building for us. We moved in. Do you?
Yeah.
We do too. We called it right sizing. The other one didn't fit us. It was for a different season. It was kind of cavernous. This fits us perfectly. And this is actually how we envision this space. Wow. And so you're the first men and women who are kind of baptizing this space for kingdom use. We want to, God blesses us so that we can be a blessing to others, right? And so that's a little bit of what we're wanting to do. We love Crystal. We love the Christian Chamber. We've been members for a good while. Really quickly, I'll tell you about Missionary Ventures. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to do it really quickly, but no, that's not why we're all here tonight. But Missionary Ventures has been around for 38 years. We're a mission-sending organization. Okay, we've got over 100 missionaries in more than 50 countries around the world. We do long-term missions, short-term missions. We do internships for 1 and 2 years for people that are kind of trying it on for size to see if God's calling them to missions. We do church planting. We do Christian education, Bible training, mobilization, all kinds of things. Part of what makes us unique, I believe, is we try very hard to say yes to people that are saying yes to God. Mm-hmm. And the risk there, of course, is that things don't always, I just gave you 5 categories. Things don't always fit in those 5 categories, do they? So sometimes our missionaries come to us and say, here's the opportunity the Lord has given us in Nicaragua or Peru or Zambia or Madagascar or any number of places, and as long as it's within what I say is the kind of wide goalpost of evangelical Christianity, we're going to support them to do it. So we're kind of the back office. We do training. I help with fundraising with the missionaries and then corporately here at the office. But our job is to support missionaries who are on the front lines taking the saving gospel of Jesus Christ to the nations. So part of that is here. And we are the nations, right? Mm-hmm. We are the nations. So God bless you. God bless you for being part of this group. And God bless you in your work.
Thank you. Well, before you want to tell them, I think the coolest one is the snake folks. The way that they reach people for Christ.
Yes. We have so many, I have to remember. We have one set of people who know, and tell me if you're thinking of a different one, because we have a few.
The deadly snake catchers.
Yes. We have people whose ministry is when there's a deadly snake in a village, they'll go into the village and they will get the snake out as a way to minister to that village. So we preach the gospel, not just with our words, right, but with our actions. Mm-hmm. So if there's a need, Jesus calls us as believers and followers of Him to meet the need, as long as it's biblical, of course. And saving people from venomous snakes, I think, is probably biblical, right?
Yeah. In our transportation next year, I'm so excited.
So very quickly, we also do transportation ministry. We partner with the Christian Motorcyclists Association, and they do a ministry called Run for the Sun. They give us money. We take the money. We, through our partnerships throughout the world, different church planners and missionaries are able to go into villages, go into places where otherwise, without transportation, they wouldn't be able to reach. So we provide the motorcycles, a lot of motorcycles. We'll do 700 forms of transportation this year. So if you have a church planner in South America, Africa, any number of places, they may be able to plant, 2 churches, 3 churches a year if they're on foot. Well, if they have a motorcycle, they're able to plant, 5, 6, 7 churches. But here's what's also important. People don't think about this, and we don't talk about it enough. If they're out there planting 2 or 3 churches without transportation, they're not able to get home at night because they're out doing the work of ministry. Well, what happens to their home? What happens to their first church, which is their spouse and their children? Not always great. The motorcycle allows them to get back home and pastor their family, love their family, be the leader of their family. So that's part of what we're called to. It's not just motorcycles. We actually just got a call, and we're going to fill it. There is a ministry, I'm trying to remember where. I know it's in North Africa. I'm trying to remember which part. There's a ministry that is going out to minister to Bedouin communities in Northeast Africa. Okay? Motorcycles won't work there. They need camels. Motorcycles that we buy. We always buy motorcycles am I taking too long? We always buy motorcycles in country because buying them here, shipping them in, number one, you get beat up on the transfer taxes, all that kind of stuff. People want to bribe you. Customs beats you up. But it also, we want to benefit that country. We want to benefit those people there. So they're the ones making the motorcycles. We buy motorcycles in country. Well, in this case, we're buying camels in country. Motorcycles average $2,500 a piece that we buy around the world.
How much is a camel?
Great question. Great question. You ready?
Expensive, right?
It's expensive.
Yeah.
A camel is about $8,000.
But they live.
However, they live 50 to 70 years. So it's actually a great value proposition. It's a great value proposition because it's going to last a lot longer. So, again, we do a lot of stuff. Can I tell them about the banquet?
Oh, please.
We have a banquet coming up. It's a fundraiser, August 26th. I'm going to leave some of these handouts on the table by the door. We would love for you to come. It's free. It is a fundraiser. I don't like to trick people. The food's free. There'll be a great program, a lot of amazing stories, but we would love to have you come and learn more. Maybe God's calling you to a short-term mission trip. By the way, that's to serve people, but it's really to put you in a position to hear from the Lord. Isn't it true that sometimes we have to get out of our normal life situation to really hear from Him? That's the true in my life. And so we would love to help you with that journey, 1 and 2 week mission trip. So anyway, I'm going to leave this by the back door. Grab it, call me. Number's on here. Would love to serve y'all.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right?
you.
Okay.
Very, very good. Thank you. Woo. So good work here. And what I love about that, and as I was just thinking in my spirit, I was thinking, what we do every day is an opportunity to be a missionary. We do it through our calling and through our passion and through our purpose. Wherever God's placed you is an opportunity. These people are out risking their lives for it. What are you willing to sacrifice? And that's what I really love in terms of a segue for our speaker today, is that Joshua is going to talk to you about when that passion and that fire is burning inside of you. What are you going to do with it? And he's going to give us some real practical things. He is an organizational psychologist, okay? So he's already qualified to tell us and help us. You could skip therapy this week. He's coming up for you. And he's going to do a great job of helping you root in and really go for those dreams that you have. That's really been the theme of what we've been talking about for the last couple of months, is God's gifted you with a passion. It's really a stirring. There's something inside of you that you just feel like, I know this is what I need to be doing. Or maybe you can't even put it in words, but being around people that can pray for you, being in community and listening to speakers and just continuing to grow. Like Christy, something was stirring in her and she didn't know. Dawn she's speaking to our women's group here coming up soon. Something's been stirring, and God will provide the people, the tools, camels, motorcycles, whatever it is, to help you find what that purpose is. Organizational psychologist, we can applaud for him because he stepped away from something super comfortable, like a job, a job, to follow his passion and dream. So you're going to be talking to somebody that's living it and stepping out in faith to start his businesses, to really do what God's calling him to do. And I think today might have been the last day you left that job to be 100% Joshua Washington.
Yeah.
And you come up here and tell everybody what all you're doing, because I mean I can't even get it all in. Help me welcome this guy right here.
I'm gonna turn your mic off. They told me they sent me a text. They said, Josh, we can hear you whispering to Delanique in the back. So I'm gonna make sure they're not hearing you, all right? I turned it off. But thank you all. Thank you so much, Crystal, for that wonderful introduction. But this night is not about me, it's about you all. And I think that's the awesome thing, and that's why it's such a privilege to be here with you all tonight. Also, oh, yeah, thank you. Also, I think tomorrow is actually my last day, technically, but Crystal is correct. I decided recently to really step out and focus more on just 2 businesses that I believe God put on my heart to do and to keep up and to steward. And so we can talk about those maybe sometime afterwards once we get some networking in. But tonight we're going to talk about activating your dreams, all right? And I'm going to put this here so I can be true to your time. I know we want to get you all out of here at a relatively decent time. But I think that tonight, when we talk about activating your dreams, one of the things that I left to do is to start something called the Joshua Mentality. Something I've been doing actually since 2011. And that was really to create a roadmap for people like you and I in our age group to really work through what it means to define success for our lives. And really that boils down to quite a few things. And so I thought it'd be perfect tonight to just give you all the roadmap right off the top. Because our generation, we don't like to wait for nothing. In fact, we've even changed the way TV's watch because we can't watch one episode and wait till the next week. We want to see it all in one night, right? So I'm going to give you the roadmap right here, right off the top. This is what I like to call the mentality of success. These are the zones that really lead to defining what success looks like for our lives. In fact, the Joshua mentality is broken up into 4 what I call core mentalities of our lives. The mentality of faith, the mentality of success, the mentality of a leader, and then the mentality of wealth. But tonight we're only going to talk about the mentality of success, and we're going to focus on just this portion here referring to dreams. But before we get into that, I want to kind of break this down for you all. The first 2 you see are really about that A at the top stands for assessment. That zone of your life is really all about assessing your life. The E is about execution. That's the zone where you begin to when you begin to activate a lot of the things you've done and spent your time really assessing and developing data regarding yourself and your future. Part of our generation's challenge is a lot of us, we start here at this dream section, but then we want to jump immediately to the development section. And we miss out on so much in between. So we're going to talk about dreams tonight, and I want to just talk to you about searching, that search of destiny. But before we get into the dreams portion, the place we have to start is with you. We have to start in talking about just you and how that all just comes together. And the way we're going to do that, I found this verse to be a little bit more illuminating than I probably ever have reading it this time. And many of you are believers, so you're familiar with this verse. It's in Matthew chapter 5. It talks about us being the salt of the earth. It says, you are the salt of the earth. Each and every one of you in this room, you are the salt of the earth. But if that salt loses its seasoning, then what is it any good for? What is it any good for? So here's the starting point I want you all to know tonight. If you leave here, if you don't remember anything I say tonight, I need you must remember this point. And that point is this: the value that God has placed inside of you. The value that God has placed within you is meant to impact the earth. When we talk about salt and you being the salt of the earth, some people may look at that and they'll think about the salt that you ate when you were down there eating your Chick-fil-A, right? And that's important, right? How many of you would love to eat something that has no flavor, no seasoning, right? That's not this whole vegan thing. That's probably why I haven't really gotten into it, because I feel like Delanique's back there giving me the hand, because she knows that's kind of her world. But that's what I think about when I think about the salt portion. But it goes much deeper than that. Did you know that in ancient days, salt was really considered a very valuable resource? In fact, it was really touted for its ability to preserve. In fact, the Romans would use salt to pay soldiers. And that's why that whole saying, you may have heard it before, when they say you aren't worth your salt. That's an old Roman saying, where they would tell their Roman soldiers, you aren't worth your salt. In other words, you're not worth your pay. So historically, salt was considered very valuable. So when Jesus says you are the salt of the earth, he is saying you are the value in the earth. You are the value in the earth. And if your value loses its flavor, its seasoning, then it's not good for anything. And so I want you to know tonight that you are the salt. You are the value. That this whole thing, this whole earth, this whole world would not be the same without you in it. It wouldn't be the same if you weren't here. And that's a very important starting point. Because once we understand that, then we can start talking about dreams. But the first thing we have to understand is that you are the salt. And here's why that's important. Because our dreams are really, when we talk about salt and all that value, one of the most valuable things God has given us is our dreams. I heard a speaker once say that our dreams are really God's whiteboard. It's where he goes to write all of his, ideas and unique thoughts and creativity. He uses our minds, the whiteboard in our minds, to write dreams that change the earth. And these dreams are meant to change your life, give your life flavor, but also give flavor to the lives of those around you. Season the lives of those around you. And that's super important. So what's that flavor look like? You ever been to a restaurant and they give you a flavor palette? They tell you, hey, you got all these different sauces, all these different things. Well, here's the flavor palette for your dreams. Here's how your dreams contribute not only to your lives, but the lives of others. Your dreams give hope to others. Your dreams give hope to you. Your dreams give a future and a purpose for your life. Your dreams give a future and a purpose for the lives of those around you. Your dreams give you identity. Why? Because when you start to search your dreams, you have to look at the person that gave them to you. And that leads to identity. Your dreams also create a sense of belonging. That's why you're in this room tonight. You have a sense of belonging that your dreams brought you together in this room with other people who are just like you, like-minded, kindred spirit. Your dreams also, they cause growth. That's probably one of the greatest things about dreams. And so this is the flavor palette of your dreams. Tell somebody on your left, I got some flavor. Turn to your right, tell them, I got some flavor. And here's... And that's what that flavor looks like. And that's a good thing to know, because the opposite is far less exciting. When our dreams lose their flavor, all those 5 things I showed you, what happens is we go from living life, the opportunity to live life, to just existing. And you've probably seen this before. You've probably seen people who had dreams, or who you look at their lives, you look at their situation, and you don't see a sense of urgency. You see this lackluster, just going through life. And this is no shade or shame to anyone, but this is what happens when our dreams lose their flavor. They lose their seasoning. We go from living to existing. And existing is not what God called us to do. God called us to live. And that living, that life, that's abundance, it's already inside of you. It's the value, it's the salt that God has already placed on the inside of you. And so that's the starting place. Are we good on that? Yes, sir. We have to start there in order to talk about dreams. And I know this all too well. And this is really the heart behind this message. I know what it's like to lose the seasoning and flavor in your dreams. What you're looking at here, this is a replica of a couch that I had in my apartment. I moved up here in 2007 to go and attend Valencia. At that point, it was community college. And I had my own place. And I come from a poor community. I'll probably tell you about that a little bit later. But I had my own place. And in that apartment, that 1-bedroom apartment, I had this sofa. But on that sofa, on that same sofa, I remember this dark night where I sat there on that sofa. It was a nice leather sofa, but I sat there in the middle of the night with a notebook, a spiral notebook that was black, in the dark, writing a letter to my parents. Because my dreams had lost so much seasoning. My life, my value had lost so much seasoning that existing wasn't even good enough at that point. That's forfeited purpose. Imagine if I went through with that night. Imagine the salt that would have been missed in this room tonight. Imagine if you, sitting here, decided not to go after or not to activate those dreams that God has placed inside of you. Imagine the people that don't get blessed, the people that don't get preserved. This here is really the heart behind the Joshua mentality, all of it. Because here is where I realize, God, the salt and the value that you've placed inside of me, if I am going to reach that, God, I need you to show me how. And I believe it was that night, from that night forward on that couch is where God showed me what I'm going to share with you all tonight about how to ignite these flavors in your life and ignite them in the lives of others. Because I think that is in your life in here already. I think this room is pretty flavorful and seasoned. But I want to show you how you can take that further and share that with other lives, all right? So you might be asking the question, how can I activate my dreams? I saw it on the presentation, Josh. Let's get to that portion. Here's that portion for you. I want you to know how you can activate your dreams. The first step is you got to start with embracing the search. Embrace the search. As I told you before, those first two of dream and discovery, they can feel like really stressful seasons of life where you don't have all the answers. I was talking to my 22-year-old little brother last week, and he told me, he thought I was trying to like badger him a little bit with questions. And he told me, he said, Joshua, I'm at this point in life where I'm okay with not having all the answers. And I think he expected me to like have a problem with that, but I'm like, that's awesome. You're in the dream and discovery zones of your life. And all I need you to do is embrace that. Yeah. Stop looking for answers. Right. Just audit. That's so good. Draw data from what God has already placed inside of you. And that's what embracing the search looks like. And I use this word search up here because I think that's something that kind of comes to my mind when I think about embracing the search. How many of you have ever done a word search? Those aren't stressful. In fact, they're actually, you're looking at me trying to see anybody, yeah. You probably already, yeah, some of you are not even paying attention. Yeah, some of you are already looking for words in there. But you see how engaging that is. Yeah. I put this, first thing you all started doing was looking for words. Yeah. And here's what happens. We'll look at our lives. Your life is this box. All that God placed inside of you are these random letters. And what God wants you to do is to link up with Him so that you can discover the words, the dreams, the value that He's placed inside of you. That's what embracing the search looks like. It's a paradigm shift from looking at those answers. They did a study and they found that two of the questions that our generation asks the most searched question on Google is, who am I and what am I here for? Right. Wow. Who am I and what am I here for? Yeah. These are people that need people like you to go out and tell them, hey, embrace the search. Wow. You don't have to wonder who you are. All you have to do is search what God has already placed inside of you, and that will point you. That's your true north of who you are. So the first thing we have to do is embrace the search if we're going to activate our dreams. The next thing that's really important is to understand how to break down and prioritize our dreams. And so here's what I want to share with you. There are 5 types of dreams. 5 types of dreams, and I want you to be able to leave here tonight and be able to take your dreams and be able to prioritize which dream is what. What kind of dreams are you harnessing and then developing within you? And so, y'all ready to go through these 5? Let me see how quick I can get through these. Oh, we got time. So, the first one, the first type of dream that's very important, it's called, I like to call these fairy tale dreams. Okay? Fairy tale dreams. An example of a fairy tale dream is these are dreams that aren't rooted in anything real. For instance, when I was a little boy, a long time ago, one of my dreams was to be a Ninja Turtle. Okay? That was one of my dreams. To be a Ninja Turtle. See, this is another Joshua right here. We're connected. He knows. My second dream was to fly. So I would go in my mom's closet, grab a towel to her. She hated when I did this, but I'd go and grab a towel, tie it around my neck, and then run around our trailer as fast as I could, because I knew if I just got enough speed, I could probably make this happen and fly. Those are fairy tale dreams, okay? The next one, the next story I'll tell you, example, I was in Valencia, and I got permission from my wife to tell this one, so it's okay. She said, you should tell that one. I thought, okay, great. So I'm not going to get killed over this one. But I was in Valencia. I was a single guy working at Valencia. And I remember someone, a young lady joined our team, and I thought, man, she looks great. Let me go and talk to her. You know, I'm single. She's single. Might be an opportunity. So I went, and we'll call her Ash just for confidentiality purposes, all right? So it's probably for her benefit, so my wife doesn't find her. So, but we're sitting there, and I get tasked with kind of onboarding Ash. And so I thought, this is God. How can this not be God? This is divine working. So I sit down with Ash, and we're working, and I just spark up a conversation. I say, Ash, well, what are some of your dreams? And she looks at me dead face, y'all, and she says, I'm going to marry a rich guy and be good for the rest of my life. I thought, skirt, no. I had plans on being rich, but here's why I had a problem with that. That's a fairy tale. That's a fairy tale, not because you can't marry rich. I mean, you could, and if you can, I encourage it. Go for it. But the reason why I consider that to be a fairy tale is because, Mary, if we believe that our whole existence is just to live this comfortable life and get to the end of that life, the challenge with fairy tale dreams is that they short circuit our purpose. Yeah. Her purpose was not to marry somebody rich and just exist for the rest of her life. Wow. There's much more purpose inside of her. And I knew from that point on, nope, this is not God. This is actually Satan. I'm going to go this way. So fairy tale dreams, those are the challenges, but there's also a positive side of fairy tale dreams. Fairy tale dreams actually, the other side of it is they can develop a nice, robust imagination. I think about some of the greatest stories and things we've seen. You think about some of the movies that you all have watched. Someone wrote a whole, series on magic called Harry Potter, and those things started as fairy tales. And so do not despise those dreams, but understand and be aware of where they fit in. Because when you understand that, you might be able to take that fairy tale dream that you have on the inside of you and think that you may have thrown that off at one point, but you might take it up tonight and say, you know what, maybe this is a book. Maybe this is a TV show. Maybe this is, I don't know, whatever it is. But if it's starting and it's kind of igniting your imagination, there may be something to that. But just make sure you don't allow that fairy tale dream to short circuit your purpose, all right? So the first type of dream is fairy tale dreams, all right? The second type is what I call seasonal dreams. These are dreams that have an expiration date, okay? For instance, when I was in high school, my dream was to be an NBA basketball player, okay? My best friend's back there laughing. Listen, I may not look like it, but in high school, I could fly a little bit. Now, that dream actually came true. I could jump a little bit and run a little bit, right? And so I thought, well, this has to be what I'm supposed to do with my life, because I have a little bit of skill and talent. I don't think my talent was enough to go to the NBA, but at that time, all I knew in the community and surrounding was that people that were making it out could either dribble a ball or catch a ball. Right. And so I figured, for me, this dream that I have to go to the NBA, this must be real. But the thing is, that dream was a seasonal dream. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was a seasonal dream. And here's the challenge with seasonal dreams. Seasonal dreams can cause major letdowns when they don't come true. If we don't recognize seasonal dreams for what they are, I think this is one of the most dangerous dreams. Because when seasonal dreams don't come to life, oftentimes it paralyzes us. And those are the people you go back home and you see they're still in the same corner, doing the same thing, because that seasonal dream that they had to do something, when it didn't happen, it took all of the seasoning and flavor with it. That's good. And so you have to be really careful with seasonal dreams to understand what is the purpose of this dream? And that's the plus side. The plus side is that seasonal dreams can help us gain experience. Because while I didn't make it to the NBA, I was still outside during those high school years till 9:30, 10:30 at night, getting up shots, working on my left hand, working on, just endurance, growing my work ethic. Growing work ethic that I could use somewhere else. Growing discipline that I could use somewhere else. Not forsaking that seasonal dream, but extracting all of the value out of that seasonal dream. So if you're in a place in your life where you're having where you're going through this dream that seems like it's coming to an end, don't fret. That may be a seasonal dream, and what you want to think about in Paradigm Shift 2 is, what is the value I was supposed to get out of this dream? That's good. What is the value I was supposed to pull from this? And avoid the letdown. That dream does not represent your purpose or your value. That dream may just be a stop in your journey, all right? So that's the second one, seasonal dreams. The third one is what I like to call material dreams. And this one's quick because I think we all kind of get this one. Material dreams are really rooted in obtaining things. I realized that the reason why I wanted to go to the NBA was not because I loved it that much, it's because the money attached to it. And I wanted to buy mom a house and do all these things and not live, paycheck to paycheck like my parents were. So the NBA made sense, but that dream was just rooted in material. And here's the danger in material dreams. Material dreams can cause what I like to term as dehydrated purpose. Because we work so hard to get that thing, to get the materials, to get the objects. And by the time we grab them, what we realize is that our lives are empty. Our lives have been dehydrated because we have never fed them. We've never ignited or invested into those things. And so there's nothing wrong with material dreams, because material dreams can also create motivation. When we bought our first home, my wife and I, there was a motivation in there that caused me to make a decision to live, in my car and in a friend's house for 3 months. But the motivation was, it was a material gain to get the home, but it wasn't the purpose. The purpose was to provide, to have a place for my wife. So you see that difference. Make sure that when you're vetting these material dreams, there's nothing wrong with gaining materials. We are blessed and we should continue to gain so that we can give. Amen. But don't let that be the purpose. Don't let that dehydrate your purpose to where you get those things, but you haven't grown in the other more valuable areas. All right? So we got two more. So the next one is what I like to call shared dreams. Shared dreams are really cool because shared dreams are connected dreams. And I have a great example in this room. My best friend is sitting here in the back, and I've known him for over 20 years now. And one of the real big proponents to our friendship has been the fact that we shared dreams. We shared dreams in music. Him and I back in high school would always get together, write music, we sing, we do all these things. And our dream was to go on and further that. And so shared dreams are really cool because shared dreams can really help you get someone on the journey with you. They can help you gain a friend, gain someone to help you on that journey. The challenges with shared dreams is that you got to be careful and make sure that it's actually your dream. Shared dreams sometimes can come from our parents or come from pressures in society, and it's not really our dream. And we'll chase it. I've met doctors before who are doctors and are miserable. Why? Because they never wanted to be a doctor. They wanted to be a teacher. But they were forced to share a dream with their parents. They were forced to share a dream with what society told them, that they'd never find fulfillment or never get paid enough, or whatever the lies are. So understand that shared dreams are one of the best dreams you can have, but just make sure that that dream is actually yours. Make sure that you understand why you share that dream. Because if you do, and it's something that you are sharing and it is yours, you can meet some wonderful people on the journey towards accomplishing that dream. And that's really what YPN is about. I believe that in this room, you're going to have some shared dreams with people sitting right next to you, across the room from you. And it's going to introduce you to some people that are going to be just like life-saving on your journey towards that dream. So shared dreams are really cool. The last one, though, I think is the most important type of dream. And these are service dreams. Service-based dreams. These dreams are centered around serving others. I was just driving over here tonight and I heard this. I was listening to an audiobook and he was talking about purpose. And he says the purpose has to be bigger than you. Yeah. If the purpose doesn't impact someone else, it's really not worth doing it. And that's why these are the best dreams. If you in your heart, in your spirit, if you have dreams that every time you close your eyes and you think about this dream, it is centered around the value that it will give to others, that's a dream that is worth prioritizing at the top. I remember and it may not even make sense to you completely yet. When I was writing music, it wasn't because I wanted to become a famous singer or a famous writer. I wrote music because I wanted to impact the people that would listen. I wanted to make them feel something. I wanted to make them cry. I wanted to make them laugh. I wanted to make their emotions engage to the words and the things that I was really putting out. That evolved as a service-based dream. Look at the evolution here. That evolved into having to realize and understanding. When my mom asked me, what do you want to do with your life? I told her, hey, I don't know, but what I have figured out so far is I have a service-based dream because I love it. Like, I really genuinely want to see people live the best life that God has called them to live. And I couldn't articulate it beyond that. But I took that and went on to study communication and went on to practice speaking more and looking at my life and saying, what are the things in my life that help me add value and add service to the lives of others? And the more we do that, the more our service streams begin to be salt in the earth. Now, this stream has a challenge too, though. And the challenge in this stream is that it requires growth. It requires growth because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you, so it requires growth in some of the most critical areas, like your spiritual life, like your personal devotion. Service-based dreams, one of the biggest responsibilities of a service-based dream is you carrying that dream to God every day. To you carrying it to God and sitting at God's feet and saying, what do you want me to do today? Lord, help me prioritize. Lord, help me work out and iron out the facts and the details of this dream. All of these, none of these can be accomplished without pointing back to God. But this one the most, more than anyone else. Because this one is the dream that will impact the most. So service-based dreams, the beauty of service-based dreams, though, is that it builds and leaves a legacy. Amen. A service-based dream will be here beyond your time. And all we have to do is look in history to find that out. We see Martin Luther King is one of the first that comes to mind just because he had a termed speech called, I have a dream. And it's lived beyond him. Because if you notice in that speech, none of that was about him. It was about others. And there are dreams within you tonight that I know it. I know there are dreams that are really centered around other people, even if you can't fully articulate it. And so my charge and challenge to you tonight is to really think about the dreams that you're carrying. And I think I have something up here that might, yes. I want you to really think about the dreams that you're carrying. And I put this QR code on here. If you are someone that are into assessments or really into kind of going through, you want to go through this a little further, I've created kind of what I call a dream assessment. And if you send me your email, I'll send it out to you for free, no strings attached, because I want you to kind of go through this assessment and just go through these questions, filter your dreams through these questions, because I want you to be able to articulate what types of dreams you're carrying and the value, the salt, the seasoning that those dreams are carrying. Because when we do that, we gain clarity, and gaining clarity will help us continue through this roadmap. It starts at dreams, though. It starts at your dreams, and it starts at understanding and being able to articulate what types of dreams, what type of salt is God placing inside of you. This making sense? Yeah. So I'm going to wrap us up here, because I want to make sure you have time to get to know each other. One thing that is very important is we're going to have, in about a few months, I'm trying to think, we're in August now? So in 2 months, because we're going to talk about activating your dream through YPN. In 2 months, we're going to actually be having a expo that's going to be taking place. In October, I want to say 26th. I think I have a slide up. I don't know why I'm trying to remember all this. Yes, it's right here. I have a slide. Remember, I got a slide on this. Here's what I'm telling you about this. You all are some of the first or the first to really come on board and really get involved with what we're doing here at the Christian Chamber with our Young Professional Network. And here's why that's important. I've found and have seen in my life that whenever there's something new, God always brings the builders first. And so when I look around this room and I look at the caliber of people in this room, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to meet and shake some of your hands tonight and hear some of the way you're talking and the way you're thinking and say, yo, these are high caliber men and women, because God brings the builders first. So here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is, let's not think global. Let's just think just kind of locally. How can you be salt? How can you be salt within the YPN network of what we're doing here? I want you to think about that. I don't want to, pressure anybody, but I want you to know that I believe God has a place and a part for you to play in what is being built here. And I don't know what that looks like, but I do know that our God does not invest or operate in small, factions. He operates generationally. He operates big, because that's just who our God is. And what I don't want is for any of you to miss out on what God is doing here with the U.S. Christian Chamber and the YPN group. And so if you are able to, I would love for you all to make it out to this expo event. These are two actually young professionals who are going to be in the house and are going to be kind of pouring out into our YPN group. And I want you all to be a part of that. So there's going to be more information to come. I think some of you signed up, and so you'll see some of that stuff in your email. But what I want you to know more than anything is, even leading up to that, we are getting ready to actually open up the waiting list for those who want to say, you know what, Joshua, not only do I want to just say I want to be a part of it, I want to sign up and make sure that I don't miss a thing. I want to make sure I get my membership in so that I can be a part of building this thing to what God is calling it to be. And so consider this an invitation to you to come help us make this a place where dreams are activated, where purpose is activated, where success is activated, where there's flavor and seasoning because you're in it. I can't do that by myself. Delanique back here, who's also someone I get to serve with, can't do it by herself. Crystal can't. And so we invite you to join in on what God is doing here and help us to not only activate our dreams, but the dreams of those around us, all right? Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Crystal.
Stay up there for a minute. I get a text from someone watching online, and the text was, wow, Joshua's on fire. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Well, Joshua is also one of our directors here for the YPN. The first time I actually got to meet him, I just knew there was something special. You just know there's something special inside of him. But when we had that event in Lakeland, he came over, made the drive 2 hours
Yes.
or whatever it was, and he said, I said I would be here, I'm here. And that's integrity. Yeah. Your word is everything. And when he said it, he did it. And then we were like, how do you feel about being on the team? Because he's exactly right. The builders come.
Yeah.
And man, God's blessed us with these two directors. And this is the caliber of who's leading this. And I just have all the confidence in the world that God's in it. So, looks like Delanique is giving me a sign, and she wants to give away a chamber membership. And so, come up here with us, Delanique. And wow, I have 3 pages of notes, by the way. And here's the thing: for all those other categories, I'm just wondering, like, where can I get the master class? I want all of the categories.
Right,
Is
absolutely.
this a series?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Then we've got a series. So come back if you want what comes after dreams. That's good stuff. Okay, so here's what I think would be a fun way to give this thing away.
Do it.
So Christian Chamber membership, this was donated by someone. And what this will be with the Christian Chamber membership is full access to everything that we do at the Chamber. So all the YPN events, discount on anything that we charge. You can come to Fellowship Fridays. You can hang with Christian business women if you're a woman. We have every month we have professional development. It's at noon over the lunch hour, so you can get in and hear stuff like what you just heard and grow. You can interact with chamber members.